Hey everyone, Gary Simon of Corsetro. So just yesterday, Adobe released a brand new update for Adobe XD or Experience Design, their prototyping software. And usually when they've been releasing these updates in the past, I don't know, half year or so, they've been, just minor fixes and minor features. However, yesterday they integrated two really awesome and very requested features from the beginning. And those two features are fixed elements, so you can now take an element like a header or a footer and make it sticky when you're scrolling the artboard down. And then also they have what they're calling overlays, and this is really awesome feature. So I'm going to show you guys from scratch, kind of just do a real quick fictional UI mock-up of a mobile app and show you how to use both of these features. So today's question for you is, what do you prefer, Angular or React? State your case in 1 to 2 sentences in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you right now. All right, so to get started, make sure you update your Adobe XD to the very latest version. And we're going to choose real quickly iPhone X. All right. And all right, so I'm not going to design a full-fledged app, but I do want to get, some context. So we will do just a very brief interface here to demonstrate both of these points or the new features. All right, so for this first one, we're just going to design or at the top portion, we'll kind of have like a menu / toolbar. So let's just go ahead. For the fill, though, I'm going to choose a blue color here, just somewhere. I might end up changing this. Let's see here, 294A60 is the color code. Probably will end up changing that. And for the top, I'm going to get a rectangle tool, something right around there. Get rid of that. We'll get this color, and we'll go ahead and make it darker here, kind of like a darker desaturated blue. And then I'm going to put up at the top, take with the type tool, left click and drag. We're going to center it. And this will be kind of like a messages page real quick. And we're going to switch to my favorite font, Montserrat, for the time being. We'll make this semi-bold. All right, we'll scale this up here. And get this into position right around here. All right, and real quick, I think we'll just go to Font Awesome real quick. All right, no. We'll do Material IO icons. So here's the page right here, material.io. And for the icons, we're going to grab two real quick. So we'll use this message one right here. Download the SVG. All right, and when you get this, just open, let's see here, show in folder. And we'll drag this on somewhere over there. I'm also going to get a menu real quick. So I'm just going to type menu, not message or massage menu. This one right down there. We'll download that. And then same drill, just drag that on somewhere over here. All right, so for the menu, I'm just going to put like right here, and we'll use the menu to demonstrate the overlays. So let's change that to white, and I'll just have this icon. I'm going to reuse it a couple times in the interface. So I'm just going to put this one here. This will be white as well, and let's see. There we go. Something like that. Very generic. So now let's, I'm going to use, I'm just going to show some fictional messages. We'll use the repeat grid tool for this. So we got another container right here. We don't want a border rather, not a stroke. Let's see here for the actual color of this. I think we'll use something pretty close to this background. Maybe something like that. All right. And then we'll have Control D to duplicate that, move this over. This would be kind of like an avatar section or something like that for a user's avatar. And we'll make this one slightly darker, just barely. All right. And then inside of this, we're going to have just a fictional little avatar holder sort of thing. We'll just bring down the opacity, something like that. All right, and then real quickly, I know we're getting a little bit of setup work here, but I really wanted to bring actual context to this instead of just showing the tools. So we'll just put Jessica Doe, whatever. And then V for the move tool, move this into place, scale this down just a bit right there. And then I don't think it has lorem ipsum automatic generated text right here. Lorem ipsum, yeah, whatever. I don't really remember it. Okay, there we go. That's the fictional text that we're going to use. So let's see here. Go back to a regular. We'll get this off. There we go. All right, so we'll bring down the opacity just slightly on this. All right, I'm happy with that. So now let's use the repeat grid tool real quick. Take all this, repeat grid tool, drag down. We'll drag down fairly far and then decrease the space between them. We'll go a little bit more than that, just like that. All right, so what is this in relation to there? Okay, we'll pull it down just a little bit more. All right, so that's that page. That is done. So the idea here is to demonstrate like an overlay. Is like, okay, what happens if a user clicks this little hamburger menu icon right here? Well, traditionally, before the latest update, you would have to duplicate this artboard, and then just on top of here, the current interface, you would draw out your navigation. But now the process has changed with overlays. So just to demonstrate this, you still have to go ahead and it's worth duplicating this. All right. We don't need this part though, and we do not need this or this. And we can even come up over here. We could think of this instead of an artboard, even though it technically is an artboard, it's now a component. And you'll see why we're calling it a component in a bit. So what I'll do is just, I'm going to put an X here. Something like that. Make this white. Increase this to 2. And then we'll go ahead and duplicate it. And then just move it over. And we have our own little custom X. Okay, great job. Now let's take this, both of these, we'll group them, and we'll just move them over right there. All right, so now the size of this artboard or this component needs to match the size, the intended size of this pull-out navigation that's going to come out from the right of the screen here to the left and probably end about 2/3 of the way, which is common practice. So the size of this artboard or this component now needs to match that. So the width, we don't need it to be 375 or whatever. We can come down right around there. I think that'll be good. We can always adjust it later. And then we'll take this section right here and drag it all the way down. Now, if you just deleted this and tried changing the background to this darker color, it won't work because the background will be transparent when you go to create an overlay over this. So you would only see this X in any type of menu items or whatever you have here. So make sure you leave this here. And then we're going to, real quickly, I'm just going to click right there once, right align it, and then just put in some fictional, we'll use the repeat grid, some fictional links here. Probably increase the size of these, but we can do that after. So for this one, we'll just put control panel. And by the way, we can ungroup those, ungroup the grid. There we go. And then this one will be settings. I don't know, FAQ, and then log out. Just some real quick links here. Probably increase the size of these. There. So we'll say, obviously it's extremely simple navigation, but it'll work for our purposes. So we're just going to call this nav. So let's demonstrate how this would actually work now in order to combine these two things. All right, so the magic happens when we go to prototype, and right here, we'll just allow the whole thing to be clickable. Well, or we can just select it individually, that's fine. When we create the connection here, we now have a 100% new tab, as you can see, called Overlay. So we click Overlay, and now all of a sudden, we have this green box, which matches the dimensions of this artboard or this component. And now we can move it and position it where we want it to show up right there. So if you hold down, you can actually see it with some opacity. All right, so now that's where it's going to show. Now, if we click on it, now also notice the dotted line right here instead of a solid line, and that's how they will differentiate between a regular transition and an overlay. So now we have just your typical settings that you would normally for transition, except it's for overlay. So the transition would make sense if it's sliding, slide left. And then your duration, your easing, all that stuff you should be familiar with if you've used XD already. So now if we go ahead and play this, and we click on this, there we go. So this is huge if you've used Adobe XD before, because you didn't have this overlay ability. But now it's kind of like its own component that can be reused easily across multiple artboards. And then the other feature that we have going for us in this new update is fixed elements. So let's say, for instance, we wanted this whole section up here to be fixed when there's scrolling. Okay, so right now this repeat grid item, there's quite a bit going here. We first have to increase the height of our artboard to a number that's larger than the viewport height. So I'll just drag this just a couple, right around there is good. And then we take this and we hit group, and we have to go to our layers and make sure that it's on the top. All right, otherwise it won't work correctly. If you went to scroll it down, it would show up underneath this list. So now we click on this and we choose fixed position. So then we hit play, and we can scroll now with a fixed element. This is a hugely requested feature. Unfortunately, it has now been listened to and integrated. Awesome. All right, so now just to demonstrate and give ourselves a little bit of muscle memory, let's go ahead and we'll create, I'm just going to duplicate that artboard there, we'll push it over here. Kind of just a real simplified, like another page over here. So we'll take this and we'll just get a section here going of content, and then underneath it we'll have another color. So we'll duplicate this. All right, and we'll just use, well, let's get our color here, just make it lighter, something different. I'm just trying to create like a real quick page right here. So I'll take this icon, oh, there it is. And we'll go ahead and change the color to match this one. And then we'll have, let's see here. Just trying to real quickly create just a secondary page. I don't think this page would make sense. It's just something that looks kind of different from the first page. We'll just to simulate some type of user interface stuff over here. We'll go ahead and put these little filler blocks of content. All right, repeat grid it real quick, and then ungroup the grid. Okay. So I don't even know what this exact page would be. Doesn't make too much sense to me, but that's not important because what I wanted to demonstrate is the fact that these overlays are entirely like templates. They're reusable. So let's make it so that when somebody, of course, clicks on this menu icon, this nav as well will show up. So let's go back to our prototype. All right, and one handy way of doing this is if you select, let me real quickly, let me just grab this one specifically. There we go. If we copy this and then we'll come over here, we can just hit delete because we copied it, but we paste it right here. It's going to remember all of the settings in terms of the transition or the overlay that we've applied to it. So then to give us a way to get back or to forward also to this page, we'll make this, let's see here, we'll make this clickable and this will go here. And this time it'll be a regular transition. All right. So then let's just make, no, we'll just leave it like that. Let's go ahead and run this. Wait, we want to make sure this one's selected first. All right, so now click it, same exact behavior, completely reusable as before. Awesome, awesome stuff. Okay, so let's also show, just try to kind of solidify the idea that everything that you're doing is, or you need to start thinking of in terms of components as compared to artboards. Let's do like a little model pop-up. So, a lot of different toast messages or things that pop up in user interfaces. That's a frequent thing that you can have in your app. So let's do something like that. Say, for instance, somebody clicks on one of these results. We'll use an overlay for that to demonstrate if somebody clicks on this message and in the app, it doesn't actually go to a new page. It just has a pop-up. This is what you would use an overlay for. So let's go ahead. We'll just copy this one. So Control D. This time it'll be, we'll make the background white. Let's get rid of all this other content. We'll make it white. The size will be something maybe like right around here. It's going to be in the center. So then we'll go ahead and remember the background doesn't even matter. Let's take the corners in just a little bit. And then also we'll drag up the height right here. I'm gonna make this match. All right, so then what we can do is just, I'm gonna ungroup all these. We'll just copy all that group right there individually, paste it in here, right click, we'll ungroup everything. And the only thing I really want is the name. So the name's right here. And I can go ahead and just give it this color right here. We don't want this, but I'll keep that. And let's see, we'll get that color. Now that'll work. All right, so let's see here. Jessica, we'll increase the size. All right, and then we'll have just some filler text right here. All right, and let me grab this horrible text over here real quick. Copy, paste it, and then come down in size and left aligned it. Go to regular. Let's get this a little bit better alignment here. There we go. And then finally, get this evened up. All right, something like that. Very simple, as you can see. So we'll just call this pop-up. So you can think of this as a component here instead of a separate artboard. So now, if we go to prototype and a user clicks on this, we choose overlay, And this time it wouldn't even make sense to slide up left. We can maybe just do slide up and make it go quick, like 0.2. And we'll just do, well, we could try easy or ease in out, and we'll see how that works. So let's go ahead. We'll click on this artboard, hit play, click on this, and guess what? Automatically, when you click on these, they'll go away in the reverse manner. So you don't even have to hook that up. It's kind of just built in. So now, again, we'll click on it. All right, so one final thing we'll do. Let's see. Let's say you wanted to use this model again. Duplicate it. And if you want to customize the content in any manner, perhaps a little bit beyond this, instead of reusing this, you know, we can make this say something else. Something like, and then, of course, if you did have pretty much the same type of content, you wouldn't replicate this. But just to show you, to start thinking in different terms, I want to make something a little bit different about this. So let's go ahead. Let's do a border, perhaps, just to show that it is different. And we're just about done here. Yeah, okay, whatever, something like that. It makes no sense, honestly. But now we take this, let's go ahead and make this one show that one. All right, so it's gonna be an overlay, slide up. It's gonna remember the previous one that I chose. So now we come back here, hit play. And there we go. We got our fixed element here, something you could never do before. And this awesome stuff, the overlays. All right, guys, hope you found that useful. Make sure you subscribe here if you haven't yet. And remember, today's question is Angular versus React. Which do you use and prefer? And state your answer within 1 to 2 sentences in the comment below. And I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow or the next day for sure with a new tutorial. All right, see you soon.